helping all of them by continuing the tradition of hometown banking. Town Bank, serving others, enriching lives.
Here in Hampton Roads, we are diverse. So whether you drive your own car, ride a bike, or use one of Hampton Roads Transit's many modes of transportation, it fits within our lifestyle. And while you may never ride Hampton Roads Transit, chances are you depend on someone who does. Help us connect Hampton Roads.
North Carolina State University is one of our nation's most prized assets.
Our law school ranks 4th in the nation for clinical opportunities.
We offer cutting-edge technology in the biosciences.
We help students master their craft. At North Carolina Central University, we are a first-choice premier institution.
In the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, success for our student athletes isn't just measured by wins and losses, points on the scoreboard, or individual stats. For nearly 50 years, it's also been measured by their performance in the classroom, in the community, and ultimately, graduation. Our student athletes aren't just playing to win a single game, they're playing to win at life. Because games end, but life keeps on going. The MEAC, educating student athletes for the game of life.
Good afternoon and welcome to McDougald-McLennan Arena here in Durham, North Carolina for this afternoon's MEAC digital broadcast on FloHoops featuring North Carolina Central and South Carolina State. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jonathan Duran here inside McDougald-McLennan Arena as the Eagles are at home to host South Carolina State. The Bulldogs on the road, and both of these teams fighting for position at the top of the table. North Carolina Central, they enter this game 4-2 in league play. They are 8-12 overall. South Carolina State 4-3 in MEAC play, 9-10 overall. And both of these teams chasing the top 4 seeds, trying to get out of that first day and get to a bye at the top of the bracket for the conference tournament. Can win the regular season and get an automatic bid to the NIT, but everybody wants to be the one to go to the NCAA tournament. And for the last 3 years, it's been North Carolina Central. 3 consecutive wins of the conference tournament championship. The first time this has been done since North Carolina A&T in the early 80s when they won 8 in a row. So North Carolina Central on a quest for championship number 4. And South Carolina State with a storied tradition of their own that they had in the early 2000s, led by Roderick Blakeney and head coach Cy Alexander, the winningest head coach all time at South Carolina State, as the Bulldogs try to make their way back to the big dance. Jonathan Duran here inside McDougald-McLennan Arena. Let's get to our starting lineups. First, for the homestanding Eagles, led by head coach Lavelle Moten. In the backcourt, 3 guards. Number 1, Mike Melvin, the 5'11 junior guard from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Number 5, Devin Palmer, the 6'4 junior guard from Hyde Park, Massachusetts. And number 22, C.J. Kaiser, a 6'3 redshirt junior from Baltimore, Maryland. Inside, at number 13, Justin Watley. He'll be anchoring the 5 position, the 6'8 redshirt sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia. And he's followed by number 2, Jabri Blunt, who had won 3 consecutive MEAC Player of the Week awards. 6'7 redshirt senior forward from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It took a triple-double for him to not win the award this time around as the Eagles bring up the tip. And both teams will take a moment to honor Kobe Bryant. And the Eagles will take a 24-second violation, which, of course, is a 30 in college basketball, and they'll run it out. And South Carolina State, I believe, on the opposite side, will take an 8-second in the backcourt, which in college basketball is a 10, but the motive's still the same. If you look at North Carolina Central's team bench, they're all wearing black shooting shirts today with the purple number 8 in front and a number 24 on the back, both of the numbers that Kobe Bryant wore during his career. As both teams take a moment to honor the legacy of Kobe Bryant and the impact that he had on the game of basketball, not just here in the United States, but internationally as well. So the Eagles win the tip, and now the Eagles will start this game off. It'll be Mike Melvin on the right side for Devin Palmer. The Eagles in their alternate white jerseys today. So Melvin's going to drive this one in. The layup hangs on the front side of the arm, but wouldn't fall. It's rebounded by South Carolina State, and here they come up the floor. They're the guests. They're in their garnet jerseys today. White numbers and letters that read SC State across the front. Damani Applewhite is the go-to guy for South Carolina State, a top player in the league, a first-team preseason selection in the MEAC. Applewhite goes back to the top of the floor for Sellers. A long three taken from the left side is no good. Rebound brought down by SC State. Sellers, top of the floor, one of the transfers from Savannah State, will walk it out to midcourt. Sellers, a 6'1", senior guard from Charlotte, South Carolina. Here's Applewhite with it again. He lost the handle on it. It'll go to the left side of the floor. Driving now is Simmons. Pump fake on the right side and a walk called against SC State against Ian Kennard. Let's get to the starting lineup for the Bulldogs now. They're going to go with just 2 guards here, 2 guards and 3 forwards. Tariq Simmons, the 6'3 junior guard from Columbia, South Carolina, and number 4, Zach Sellers, 6'1 senior guard from Charlotte, South Carolina. 3 forwards, number 5, Ozante Fields, a 6'7 senior forward from Denmark, South Carolina. Number 24, Ian Kennard, 6'8 senior forward from Clinton, South Carolina, and the only man not from the Palmetto State in the starting lineup, as the layup from Jabri Blunt is no good. Number 35, Damani Applewhite, the 6'7 senior forward from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Both the starting fives presented by Spoken For Communications, because every child deserves to be heard. We played 2 minutes of this game. Neither team has scored yet. And here's Sellers on the right side. Middle of the floor goes to Azante Fields. Fields will lob it down low for Applewhite. Turns and the fadeaway in the paint is good for 2. And South Carolina State scores first. Damani Applewhite, a preseason first-team all-conference selection, averaging 14 points and 7 boards a game right now. Top of the floor, C.J. Kaiser just inside the perimeter. He'll try to roll it in for Blunt. It's taken away by South Carolina State. Here's Sellers. And Sellers, after spending all that time at Savannah State playing that high-tempo offense, settling into a half-court point guard As the jumper from the right side is missed and rebounded by Devin Palmer. Palmer finds Mike Melvin. Eagles still searching for their first bucket of the game. They're 0 for 2 from the floor. Melvin will drive in and he'll drop it off for Jabri Blunt, and a blocking foul will be called down low against Ozante Fields. That'll be his first, and team foul number 1 for South Carolina State. So North Carolina Central will organize to inbound. We're in the white jerseys today, and the maroon numbers and the maroon wings on the front of the shorts. The lob will go in for Jabri Blunt. Blunt hesitates at the free throw line, driving in, takes the contact off the window. It's no good. The rebound goes out of bounds. Now I see last touched by Blunt. And the Eagles, after playing such a splendid second half of their game against Delaware State, where the Eagles shot 65% from the floor, are struggling to get started here this afternoon. And a foul charged at the top of the floor against Mike Melvin, his first, team foul number 1. Score is 2-0. South Carolina State ahead, and they have the ball right now. Ready to inbound will be Sellers. Sellers still waiting. Finally gets it in before the 5 count. He gives it for Simmons. Simmons trying to drive on the left side. Gets inside. The layup's no good. Rebounded by Watley. Outlet to the left side. Here's C.J. Kaiser. Kaiser, the low reverse, somehow spins it in. Both teams on the board now. 2-all. Top of the floor. Here's Applewhite. Applewhite back out to the left side. Pump fake from Kennard. Top of the floor. Sellers. His 3 short. And it will skip out of bounds. 16-12 to go in the first quarter. Both teams finally onto the board. We're tied at 2-all. Jonathan Duran here inside of McDougald-McLennan Arena. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Glad to have you here on the Saturday afternoon. We're live from the Bull City of Durham, North Carolina. The Eagles have won their last 10 in a row at home. Trying to keep that streak going as Jabri Blunt has an opportunity to put the Eagles in the lead. He can't do so. Ball is loose, picked up by the Bulldogs. Sellers outlet to the right side. Simmons to the corner, back out to Sellers. Top of the floor, now to the left. Here's Kennard. He'll bounce to the left side, face up, Applewhite. Jumper contested, it's no good. Long rebound brought down by Blunt, and a touch pass to the right side for Mike Melvin. Melvin out to C.J. Kaiser. Pass tipped out of bounds. 15:29 to go here in the first half of play. Slow-moving basketball, but the ball has gone through the twine. The score is 2-all. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops.
In the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, success for our student athletes isn't just measured.
Eagle Basketball on the NCCU Sports Network, MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. 2-2 is the score. As Jordan Perkins, newly checked into the game, will start the offense. Goes to the left side for C.J. Kaiser. Kaiser off the screen from Watley, driving all the way in. Kaiser off the glass for 2. And North Carolina Central now leads this game 4-2. Kaiser with all the points for the home team. Pass goes inside, a fadeaway jumper in the paint. Left short, the tip also short. And the ball tied up down low. Jump ball possession arrow will go to South Carolina State. One of the many FloHoops broadcasts this season and the MEAC Digital Network, being able to showcase all 11 teams in the league. A wide open league. Anybody can win this tournament. A lot of depth in this league from top to bottom. A 3 from the right side. Hits the cotton from Tariq Simmons. So now South Carolina State up by 1, 5-4. First three-pointer made by either team in this game. C.J. Kaiser off the screen to the right. Finds Blunt. Now to the left side for Jordan Perkins. Top of the floor, Devin Palmer. Tries to respond for 3. It's no good. And a foul on the rebound attempt will go against Justin Watley to knock the ball away. That'll be his first. Team foul number 2 for North Carolina Central. Substitutions for North Carolina Central as C.J. Kaiser checks out, and Nick Fennell will go in for the Eagles. South Carolina State inbounding in the backcourt, working against this 1-2-2 full court press from North Carolina Central. They play catch in the backcourt, and finally will move it across the timeline. Top of the floor now, here is Sellers. Zach Sellers, speedy point guard. Send it to the right side of the floor for Simmons. Simmons hit that three the last time down. 7 to shoot. Drops it off the free throw line. Applewhite, jumper is good. He holds the gooseneck, showing off his mid-range game. 7-4, North Carolina Central trailing by 3. They have the basketball. As Jordan Perkins gives it to Justin Watley. His three is no good from the top of the perimeter. Rebounded by Perkins, and Perkins send it to the corner. It's Fennell. Fennell back to Perkins. Now to the right side for Devin Palmer. Palmer drives baseline, and he is fouled on the way in. 2 shots coming up. This foul will be charged to number 14, Jamari Etienne. His first team foul, number 2. Devin Palmer to the free throw line. Devin Palmer, within conference play, has turned into a completely different player. The first free throw is missed. Averaging just shy of 10 points per game. Shooting about 30% from the perimeter as well, 11 for 37. So the Eagles make a change inside. It'll be Evan Claiborne going in for Justin Watley. So second free throw from Palmer, and that is no good. But a lane violation called against South Carolina State, so Palmer has one more. The 2 forwards for North Carolina Central used to be teammates. Both transferred in from Cleveland State, both former Vikings. As Palmer's free throw is missed to the left side, rebounded by South Carolina State. It's 7-4, North Carolina Central has 2 field goals. They both come from C.J. Kaiser. The difference, a three-pointer made by Tariq Simmons. As Rayshawn Neal passes to the right side of the floor, looking for Etienne, and Etienne will slip. The ball goes out of bounds. It's up for the Eagles. Ty Graves goes in for Devin Palmer. 7-4 the score, 13-17 to go in the first half. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. On the right side here is Nick Fennell. Fennell bounce pass to Perkins. Perkins into the traffic. The layup's good. Strong finish there by Perkins. And North Carolina Central back into their full court press. Pass goes up the floor for Tariq Simmons. Simmons will hand it off for Neal. 7-6 South Carolina State by 1. Rayshawn Neal driving in, trying to stretch the lead, and he does. Nice drive and the finger roll on the right side of the window. A 3-point lead for South Carolina State. Tightly contested here in the first half as Jareeb Blunt pump fakes the jumper inside the perimeter. Short. Rebounded by SC State. Outlet goes to the left side of the floor, driving in, and taken away by Nick Fennell. To the right side, Perkins. Perkins skips past the defender, and a reverse layup is good. It's back to a 1-point game. Eagles still working with the full court press. South Carolina State able to break it. It's Etienne, and he'll drop it off top of the floor for Rayshawn Neal. Neal top of the floor to Etienne. To the left side, ball knocked away out of bounds by Ty Graves. 11:54 to go in the first half. The score, South Carolina State 9, North Carolina Central 8. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Eagle bats. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network. And FloHoops, 9-8 is the score. South Carolina State leading by 1. 11:54 remaining in the first half of play. Jonathan Duran here inside McDougal-McLennan Arena as Nick Fennell takes away the inbound pass. Goes for the Euro step and he's fouled on the way to the 10. Nick Fennell once recorded 8 steals in a game in his freshman year. This foul will be called against number 11, Armani Hill. It'll be his first, team foul number 3. And Nick Fennell at the line. He recorded 8 steals that day. Tied for the second most in a game in the Division I era. As his first free throw is no good. The Eagles yet to knock down a free throw today. And Nick Fennell at the line. We'll try one more time. The Eagles haven't made a free throw. South Carolina State has not attempted a free throw. Now Nick Fennell will make this one count. And we're tied 9-all. Rayshawn Neal. Pass goes to the middle of the floor to Kennard. He's stripped of the ball. Pinballs around, picked up by Evan Claiborne. Now Jordan Perkins up the floor to the right side. Fennell spots. Jumpers for 2 in transition. Rebounded by Perkins. A touch pass goes down low for Evan Claiborne. He jams it in. Career assist number 407 for Jordan Perkins. He's 2 away from tying for second all time. North Carolina Central with their first lead of the game, 11-9. 11 minutes remaining here in the first half. Rayshawn Neal with 5 seconds to shoot, driving in, and the pass will be tipped out of bounds. Quick hands by Jabri Blunt, but Neal looked like he never quite had full control of it as he was driving in. South Carolina State will make a change here. Damani Applewhite will go back in for Tashombe Riley. And what a story for Tashombe Riley as he goes to the bench. He started his career at South Carolina State, transferred away and went to a D2. And now he's back at home, not only at the school where he started, but also back in his hometown of Orangeburg, South Carolina. So foul on the inbound attempt will go against the Eagles. That goes against number 24, Nick Fennell. That is his first, team foul number 3. And Tashombe Riley averaging 10 points and 4 rebounds a game in his homecoming. 11 minutes left in the half. North Carolina Central leading 11-9. There's a drive on the left side. The left-handed layup is no good. Rebounded by South Carolina State. A power dribble and multiple pump fakes. A shot blocked by Evan Claiborne. But he's going to be called for the foul down low, and he's not pleased with that foul going against him. That'll be his first, team foul number 4. And 2 free throws coming up for South Carolina State. South Carolina State as a team been shooting pretty well from the line. 77.6%. And Armani Hill, a 70% free throw shooter himself, will offer up these 2. These are the first 2 free throws of the game for South Carolina State. And that one will rattle out. Hill, 6'7" senior, forward from Rock Hill, South Carolina. So receives the ball from the official. We'll try one more. And the upstate South Carolina native can't get that one to fall either. So the Eagles still leading 11-9. And Jordan Perkins across the Eagle logo at midcourt. Off the rub screen. Top of the floor, Ty Graves. Graves, step back, jumper inside is no good. Rebounded by Nick Fennell. Fennell puts it off the glass. A tough finish, but he makes it count. And it's a 5-0 run now for North Carolina Central that balloons into a 7-0 run. 13-9, the home team ahead after South Carolina State had strong control of this game to start. Jamari Etienne will pass it to the corner for Armani Hill. Hill turns his back to the bucket, and at the free throw line, a hop step in, and the layup missed, rebounded by Evan Claiborne. Jordan Perkins up the floor, shakes his way now out to Ty Graves. The 3 in transition from NBA range is no good, rebounded by Claiborne, and he's fouled as he brings this one back down to terra firma. Foul will be charged to number 11, Armani Hill. That'll be his second, team foul number 4 for South Carolina State. Tariq Simmons going back in for South Carolina State in favor of Jamari Etienne. Ty Graves to inbound from the left side of the window. Graves lobs it in for Jabri Blunt. Right side, Jordan Perkins. And now back to Graves. Graves crosses over, picks up the dribble, finds Claiborne, and out to the right side for Perkins. Perkins inside for Claiborne. Claiborne jabs, scoops it out for Blunt. There's 5 seconds to shoot. Ty Graves sees that, winding down, but can't get the three-pointer to fall. 13-9, North Carolina Central. They're on a 7-0 run right now. The ball goes to the corner for Kennard, and now back to the top of the floor for Rayshawn Neal. The Eagles have held South Carolina State scoreless for the last 3 minutes. Neal passes down low, and the layup is good for Tashombe Riley, and that stops the drought. Jordan Perkins up the floor quickly, and the Eagles will settle into a half-court set. Off the screen to the left side, here's Blunt now to the right for Ty Graves. Graves, free throw line jumper. That one halfway in but wouldn't fall, and Kennard takes a spill as he's going to the court. He's all right. He's back up and going. He's now back to a 2-point game, 13-11. And a foul called as Jordan Perkins was trying to go around the screen. It's going to go against him. His first, team foul number 5. 8:45 to go as C.J. Kaiser goes back into the game for North Carolina Central. Rayshawn Neal checks out. And Zach Sellers back in for South Carolina State. Kennard will inbound. Looking for an opening. He lobs it in for Applewhite. Applewhite is going to be fouled here at midcourt. It's going to go against Jabri Blunt. His first, team foul number 6. And South Carolina State about to head into the bonus. $8:43 to go in the first half. North Carolina Central up by 2, 13-11. Kennard drops it off top of the floor for Simmons. Simmons hands it back to Sellers. 7 to shoot for South Carolina State. Both teams have been content to let the timer wind down on their possessions. As Riley's 3 hits the bottom of the net. And that catapults South Carolina State back ahead by 1, 14-13. Jordan Perkins off the screen, top of the floor. Jabri Blunt now to the right side for C.J. Kaiser. Kaiser top of the floor, driving, pump fakes inside for Claiborne, but he loses it out of bounds. And now North Carolina Central, after holding South Carolina State scoreless for 3 minutes, haven't seen the ball go through the net for the last 2 minutes. A 1-point lead for the guests. South Carolina State up 14-13. Sellers and Simmons play catch in the backcourt, and now Sellers will start the offensive half-court set. Sellers to the right side, Simmons, his 3 on target. And that is the third three-pointer made by South Carolina State. They're up 17-13. 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Next dead ball sends us to a media timeout. Perkins to the right for Graves. Graves back to Perkins. Left side, Kaiser. Kaiser back to Perkins. 12 to shoot. Now here's Blunt. Blunt steps into the three-pointer and drains it. Back to a 1-point game. Might be a low-scoring game, but it is tightly contested here inside the nest, as the home fans call it, McDougald-McLennan Arena. 7 minutes to play in the half. Here's Sellers. 12 to shoot for South Carolina State. Sellers, top of the perimeter, looks to drive on the right side. He'll draw the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 1-1 at the expense of Jabri Blunt. That is his second. 17-16, South Carolina State up by 1. 6:50 to go here in the first half. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. A top 4 matchup within the MEAC being played right now here in Durham, North Carolina. Welcome back here inside McDougald McLennan Arena. North Carolina Central hosting South Carolina State. The Bulldogs at the free throw line with Zach Sellers knocking down the first of 2 free throws. Rather of 1 and a bonus. And Sellers has 1 more free throw waiting for him. And he's able to make that one fall. So now South Carolina State leading by 3, 19-16. It's Jordan Perkins across midcourt. Able to pass it over to C.J. Kaiser. Kaiser slips past 1, takes the contact going in, will go to the line for 2. Foul will be charged to number 24, Ian Kennard. His first, team foul number 5. And now C.J. Kaiser, the transfer from Wichita State, will head to the line. First free throw good from Kaiser. 8 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, and a steal last time out against Delaware State. Everything's just shy of 8 points per game for the season. But within a league play, averaging 13 points per game as he makes both. And now North Carolina Central back into the full court press. Sellers trying to work counter to it. Pass goes to the left side. And now a long pass down to the right corner for Riley. And he'll pump it back to midcourt for Sellers. 19-18, South Carolina State as the ball goes down low inside for Riley. Lobs back to the top for Sellers. To the right for Kennard. His 3 is short. Rebounded inside by Applewhite. And the ball will be kicked out of bounds. Last touch by Kaiser. And Kaiser tried to save it in. He tossed it off the face of Damani Applewhite. Another look at the effort play by Kaiser. Right off the side of the face. Not intentional. And I'm sure Applewhite is going to remember that for the rest of the game. 6:15 to go in the first half. There's an open 3 for Simmons, and that one missed on the left side, rebounded by Ty Graves. Jordan Perkins across midcourt to the corner for Kaiser. Kaiser will bounce it back to the top for Perkins. Perkins off the screen to the middle of the floor. And now back to the top for Kaiser. 14 to shoot for North Carolina Central as Kaiser drives. Pivots, the fadeaway jumper on the baseline is good. Kaiser with a team-high 8 points puts North Carolina Central back up by 1, 20-19. Zach Sellers working against the full court press once again. He lobs it to the left side for Tariq Simmons. Simmons top of the floor. Crosses over, driving to the left side, drops it inside for Applewhite. He bobbles it, drops it to the right side, and Tashombe Riley will put it in. Not sure if it was a pass or if he just lost it, but either way, Riley gets 2 points. South Carolina State by 1 at 21-20. Perkins to the right side for Ty Graves. Graves top of the floor, Perkins, left side Kaiser. Kaiser to the middle of the floor, Perkins driving in, floats it, and that's short. Bounced halfway in and back out. A 1-point lead for South Carolina State. They try to stretch it. It's Riley. Riley nearly lost it, able to recollect and toss it back out for Sellers. Sellers trying to drive to the left baseline. Instead, he goes to the middle of the floor. Stops the pull-up jumper from the free throw line. It's no good. Rebounded by Kaiser. And Kaiser will push it up the floor on the right side. Intended for Ty Graves in the corner. Tipped out of bounds. 4.5 minutes left in the first 20. A game that's gone back and forth. Ty Graves will go out. Devin Palmer in. 2 changes for South Carolina State. Riley and Simmons out. Fields and Etienne in. Kaiser inbounds for Jordan Perkins. Perkins to the right side for Fennell. Fennell inside for Claiborne. He's fouled before he can get to it. And it'll be on the floor. Team foul number 6 for South Carolina State. Goes against number 5, Lozante Fields, his second. Lafayette Stone will go in for South Carolina State. And Rayshawn Neal in. Going out is Riley and Fields. Inbound goes to the right wing for Jordan Perkins. Perkins skip pass to the left for Kaiser. Kaiser step back. Goes to the middle of the floor for Palmer. Now back to the right for Perkins. Palmer, the 3 on the way for the left wing is no good. Ball tipped into the air, brought down by Applewhite. Outlet goes to Rayshawn Neal. Next dead ball will send us to our final media time out of the first half. And a reminder for those joining us here, stay tuned to the break for our halftime show presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. Applewhite to the corner to Etienne. Etienne crosses over, loses a handle on it. It'll roll into the backcourt with 9 to shoot. Rayshawn Neal hesitates and carries. 3:39 to go in the first half, 21-20 South Carolina State. We've got a good one here for you on the MEAC Digital Network. And Flo Hoops back in a moment. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and Flo Hoops. Welcome back to McDougald McLennan Arena, Durham, North Carolina, as North Carolina Central hosts South Carolina State. Bulldogs in front 21-20. CJ Kaiser goes inside for Nick Fennell, and Fennell rises and jams it down. Puts North Carolina Central back in front by 1, 22-21. Kennard, backcourt, takes it across. Top of the floor now. Holding it there is Zach Sellers. 3 minutes left here in the first half. Pass intended to the corner. Saved there by Evan Claiborne. So knocks it out of bounds, but can't keep it in play. Kennard will inbound for South Carolina State. Trying to find an opening. Finally just lobs it in for Zach Sellers. And they're going to call Jordan Perkins for a foul for pushing him out of bounds. That'll be his second. And team foul number 8, so a 1-and-1 for Zach Sellers. So 1-and-1 for Sellers, an 83% free throw shooter. Mike Melvin is going to check into the game for Jordan Perkins. Perkins frustrated as he goes to the bench with 2 fouls. First free throw on the way is good, and Sellers earns 1 more. $16 points, 4 assists for him last time out, averaging just shy of 3 per game. The South Carolina State, his first year with him. That's the second free throw, and that puts South Carolina State again ahead by 1, 23-22. Just a shade under 3 minutes left in this first half. CJ Kaiser spots for 3 and puts it in. The home crowd likes that one. A 2-point lead for North Carolina Central, the most breathing room that either team has had in a while. As Kennard will pivot at the top of the floor and drop it back off for Sellers. Sellers off the screen, moving to his right. Top of the floor to Lafayette Stowe. Now to the right for Kennard. Kennard back to the top for Sellers, 4 to shoot. Sellers with 3 seconds, dumps it in for Stone. The layup is missed. He didn't even hit the iron, and that is a shot clock violation. No, they're going to call a foul, I believe. They're going to talk this one over. It's either a foul or a shot clock violation. They're going to call the foul here. It's going to go against Devin Palmer. That's his first, team foul number 9. So Lafayette Stone has 2 free throws coming up. The 6'10 junior forward from Clinton, South Carolina. It's no good. Rebounded by Palmer. And everybody thought it might have been a 1-and-1 opportunity, but it is 2 shots. Missed the first. Now here's the second free throw, and that one is good from Stone. So North Carolina Central up by 1, 25-24 after the free throw split by Stone. Only been to the line twice coming into today's game. Devin Palmer in the corner for 3, tries his luck, goes halfway in and out. And last touch there on the rebound attempt goes against Kaiser. Under 2 minutes to play, 25-24. Top of the floor here is Etienne on the right wing for Sellers. Sellers turns his back to the defender Mike Melvin. Sellers protecting the ball, and Mike Melvin will be called for the foul here. That's a second, and the Eagles over the limit. So 2 free throws now for Sellers. 2 free throws for South Carolina State for the last 94 seconds of the half. Sellers' first free throw is good. He's done all of his scoring from the charity stripe. He'll shoot one more, and that one is no good. Rebounded by Devin Palmer. His first miss from the line in this game. We're tied up 25 all with a minute and a half remaining in the first 20 minutes. Fennell on the left side will drive. Goes right into the contact. And this foul will be charged against South Carolina State. Goes against number 14, Jamari Etienne. That is his second, team foul number 7. And I think they're saying that this was on the floor. So it's going to be a 1-and-1 for Nick Fennell. First free throw from Fennell. So he bends the knees and offers this one up. It's good. He has the opportunity to shoot one more. The lefty from Bowie, Maryland, puts the second free throw on the way and makes it count. 27-25, North Carolina Central, and C.J. Kaiser called for the quick foul in the backcourt. That's his first. The Eagles over the limit, just going to send South Carolina State back to the line. And, of course, the Bulldogs not upset with that at all. Zach Sellers, who is 5 for 6 from the line, will head back. So Sellers calmly put the first free throw up, and that one bounces in. And Zach Sellers is 1 free throw away from tying for the game high in scoring for South Carolina State as he makes both. He has 7 points. He's now tied with Tashombe Riley for the team high, and he ties the game again at 27 apiece. 70 seconds remaining here in the first half. It's Mike Melvin at the top of the floor, met by Sellers. Melvin off the screen to his left, hesitates at the right elbow and back outside the perimeter. It's Kaiser with 7 to shoot from NBA range. That one's no good as Nick Fennell tries a tip. Devin Palmer puts it back in on the left side. Eagles lead by 2 with 45 seconds left in the half, 29-27. Zach Sellers start this offensive set. He finds Applewhite. Applewhite back to Sellers. 30 seconds in the half, 10 to shoot. Sellers to the corner. Riley, his 3 is no good. Rebounded by Fennell. Pass goes ahead for Melvin. Melvin Hop step, the layup is no good. The putback on the left side for Claiborne falls. A 4-point lead for North Carolina Central with 12 seconds left. Sellers across midcourt. Goes to the left side for Applewhite. 7 seconds, a drive. The floater is short. Rebounded inside by Simmons. It's no good as well. Rebounded by Melvin. 1 second to beat the horn from midcourt. It's no good. 31-27. North Carolina Central leads after the first 20 minutes of play. A tightly contested first half, and we'll have our halftime show and second half coming up next. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. We'll step away and come back right after this.
Battles 1.
ECU Athletics. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Welcome to our halftime show presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. After 20 minutes, North Carolina Central leads this game 31-27 over South Carolina State. Tightly contested over these first 20 minutes as North Carolina Central and South Carolina State have both enjoyed a largest lead of 4 points. Eagles in front right now. CJ Kaiser with the game high in scoring with 11 points. Eagles shooting 40% from the floor. South Carolina State, 7 points from Zach Sellers and Tashombe Riley. Sellers, all 7 points coming from the free throw line. South Carolina State shooting 36.4% from the floor. 3 for 8 from downtown. Eagles barely ahead in the rebounding, 18-17. A back and forth first half. We'll take a moment, step away, and we'll go to look to see what's going on around the league and around the rest of the nation. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. We'll step away, come back with more in a moment.
Beautiful buildings that shape our...
There will come a time in your life.
MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Let's see what's going on around the league right now. As North Carolina Central leads South Carolina State 31-27 here in Durham at the break. Delaware State ahead of Coppin State, a final score there. Game played earlier today, 77-68. The Hornets get their second win in league play. They're now 2-4. Coppin State 2-6. FAMU leading Bethune-Cookman 27-13. 8 minutes to go in the first half. And Morgan State in a barn burner with Howard right now. They're tied 27-all, 6 minutes to go in the first half. And North Carolina A&T trying to become the first team to knock off Norfolk State. A&T ahead 29-22 over the Spartans with 6:51 to go in the first half. Taking a look at the league standings, Norfolk State, the only undefeated team. They're 6-0. North Carolina A&T is 6-1. And North Carolina Central, the win today, will have a chance to move into first place on Monday night, depending on what happens with North Carolina A&T. The Eagles trying to become 6-2. Norfolk State, if they lose in Greensboro and then lose here in Durham, puts North Carolina Central at the top after North Carolina Central started 2-2 to start league play. And South Carolina State got out to a hot start as well. They're 4-3. A win for them moves them up to 5-3, and they're still in a chance for a top seed, if not the conference championship, which everybody is up going for here in the regular season. So a recap of the scores within the MEAC right now. Delaware State defeats Coppin State 77-68. FAMU leads BCU 27-13, 8 minutes to go in the first half. 5.5 minutes left. Morgan State ahead of Howard 29-27. 4 minutes left in the first half. North Carolina A&T ahead of Norfolk State 36-24. In the top 25 right now, finals from earlier today, number 6 Louisville over NC State 77-57 in Raleigh. Number 12 West Virginia takes down Kansas State 66-57 at the half. Number 1 Baylor ahead of TCU 35-24. And number 2 Gonzaga trailing San Francisco 43-25. Number 3 Kansas ahead of Texas Tech 44-35 at the half as well. Number 5 Florida State ahead of Virginia Tech 36-31 just starting the second period. Creighton upsets number 8 Villanova 76-61. Xavier upsets number 10 Seton Hall as well in the Big East 74-62. And another upset in the Big Ten today, Wisconsin edges out number 14 Michigan State 64-63. Providence, another Big East upset 65-61 over number 16 Butler. Number 22 LSU defeats Ole Miss 73-63. And the number 7 ranked Dayton Flyers lead Fordham 24-11. 5 minutes left in the first half. Michigan ahead of number 25 Rutgers 22-14. 8 minutes left in the first half. 6 o'clock today, number 11 Oregon at Stanford. Number 13 Kentucky at number 17 Auburn. Number 21 Houston at Cincinnati. And number 23 Wichita State at Tulsa. 7 o'clock. Number 24 Penn State at Nebraska. 8 o'clock, number 9 Duke at Syracuse. 10 o'clock in the West Coast, Utah State at number 4 San Diego State. And at 10:30, number 20 Colorado at USC. As you look at the league scoreboard and scores from around the nation, we'll step away and we'll get ready for the second half. Both teams are on the floor doing their final warm-ups before the next 20 minutes. 31-27, North Carolina Central leads. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Get ready to start the second half. Tightly contested first half. North Carolina Central leads at 31-27. Jonathan Duran here inside McDougald-McLennan Arena here in the Bull City of Durham, North Carolina. So we're almost ready to start second half. The Eagles, the home team, they're in white. South Carolina State, the guests, they're in their garnet jerseys today. The Eagles, the first team to hit the floor. It'll be Jabri Blunt, CJ Kaiser, Devin Palmer, Mike Melvin, and Justin Watley. The 5 on the floor for North Carolina Central. For South Carolina State, they'll start the second half with Damani Applewhite, Zach Sellers, Tashombe Riley, Ian Kennard, and Tariq Simmons. The Eagles will have the ball to start the second half. 20 minutes on the timer, and that starts now. Mike Melvin will take it across midcourt. And the Eagles have the first opportunity to score in the second half. Mike Melvin to the left side for Palmer. Palmer up for three, and that starts the second half with a bang. 34-27. North Carolina Central has the largest lead enjoyed by either side in this game, and that is 7 points. And I fully expect that to be erased very quickly, judging by the way this game has been going. Tashombe Riley on the right side of the floor. Top of the floor goes for Sellers. Pump fakes, drives in. He puts it off the window. It's no good. Rebounded by Kaiser. Kaiser to the perimeter. Shovels it all for Justin Watley. It goes out for Mike Melvin. Melvin will rise and set up the half-court set for North Carolina Central. Melvin to his right. To the corner for Kaiser. Back to Melvin. Melvin crosses over, driving in. 8 to shoot. Out it goes to Kaiser. Contested three. Short. Rebounded by Riley. South Carolina State looking for their first bucket of the second half. Kennard will defer to Sellers. To the corner now for Simmons. Simmons' baseline jumper is no good. Rebounded inside by the Bulldogs, and the second chance threatened to fall, but is rebounded by Jabri Blunt, and he's fouled in the backcourt as he was trying to toss an outlet pass. That goes against Tashombe Riley, his first team foul number 1 in the second half for South Carolina State. As Devin Palmer will inbound for Mike Melvin. Here inside historic McDougald-McLennan Arena, John McLennan, the giant banner honoring him on the baseline wall as they pump this one down low, and a big jam in for Justin Watley. (36-27). North Carolina Central on a 9-0 run, stretching back to the first half of play. Sellers at the top of the floor. Moves off the screen from Riley to his left. Sellers picks it up. Top of the floor, 4 to shoot. Simmons, 2 seconds. Simmons, 1 second. The jumper inside the perimeter is good. Gets a kind roll there. And Simmons able to make that one count. It's the first bucket of the second half for South Carolina State. Kaiser finds Jabri Blunt. Blunt gives to Watley. Watley's open. Fires for three straight away. Easy for him. 5 straight points on the offensive side for Justin Watley. Eagles lead by 10, 39-29. Zach Sellers captaining the South Carolina State team as they try to chip away the deficit. Sellers, top of the floor, finds Simmons. Simmons moving to his right. And now passes down low for Riley. He's met at the rim, but a foul is going to be called against C.J. Kaiser. That's his second. Team foul number 2 in the second half for North Carolina Central. A correction, team foul number 1 in the second half. So Tashombe Riley, the comeback kid for South Carolina State, will shoot 2 free throws, and the first one is good. Riley in his graduate year, going back to where he started at South Carolina State, inside Smith Hammond Middleton Memorial Center. So he makes both free throws. As we enter February, coming up on the anniversary of the Orangeburg Massacre, in which Smith Hammond Middleton Memorial Center is named in honor of the 3 students that were killed during a protest in Orangeburg at the All-Star Bowling Alley, as C.J. Kaiser is able to knock down the fadeaway jumper. And actually, 7 days from now will be the 42nd anniversary of that date. February 8th, 1968. Samuel Hammond Jr., Delano Middleton, and Henry Smith, 2 South Carolina State students and a high school student, all were killed during the protest bonfire. As the right elbow jumper is good from Tashombe Riley. 41-33. That pass taken away by Simmons. Simmons, the layup is no good, but he'll be fouled by Mike Melvin. That is his third, and team foul number 2 for North Carolina Central in the second half. 15-59 to go in regulation. 41-33, North Carolina Central leads. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Jonathan Duran here inside McDougald-McLennan Arena. South Carolina State visiting North Carolina Central. South Carolina State at the free throw line. First of 2 free throws is good for Tariq Simmons. Fouled on a fast break layup by Mike Melvin. Second free throw is good for Simmons as well. It's back down to a 6-point game. It's North Carolina Central led by 10 to start the second half, 41-31. South Carolina State with the last 4 points as Mike Melvin goes down low for Jabri Blunt. Power dribble and the layup good on the right. Jabri Blunt has been held pretty silent in this game. Just his second field goal, he has 5 points. 43-35. On the left side, Neal, top of the floor to Riley. Riley down low inside for Applewhite. Applewhite double team, passes inside for Riley, and his right-hand hook is good. Is Applewhite able to bring in the double team and find his teammate open in the paint? There's Mike Melvin. Middle of the floor to Blunt, now to the right side for Kaiser. Kaiser has the ball poked away, and Kaiser takes it right back. Down low goes for Blunt, back to Kaiser. Nice ball movement by North Carolina Central there. And strong hands by C.J. Kaiser to get the ball right back after the steal. Rayshawn Neal, top of the floor to the right side now for Kennard. To the middle, and out to the left again for Neal. Neal to the right wing, a pump fake from Simmons. Simmons goes inside, ball taken away by Devin Palmer. And he gives it for Mike Melvin. Melvin turns on the Jets as it comes across midcourt. Now slows inside the perimeter. Melvin right side, Kaiser. Kaiser will try to go inside for Blunt, and it'll go out of bounds, knocked away by Simmons. Substitution. Ozante Fields going back in for Riley, and Jamari Etienne will go in for Tariq Simmons. South Carolina State trying to keep their team fresh as they get through the second half on the road. C.J. Kaiser will inbound for Mike Melvin. 14 to shoot for North Carolina Central. Melvin will drive it in. The scoop layup is good. Takes a lot of contact. No whistle, but he'll take the 2 points either way. 47-37, ball taken away. Here's Devin Palmer coming back opposite way. Palmer on the way in, fouled. And he was going to try to elevate. One of his favorite things to do. You see him during the layup lines. He tries to, or rather he doesn't try, he succeeds in bringing the ball back with some vicious jams, but he's fouled. And so we'll have to do the more difficult way. 2 free throws coming up for Devin Palmer. Hyde Park, Massachusetts native. First free throw is no good. Suburb of Boston. And Coach Moten, during the tip-off banquet at the start of the year, says we're not going to let them claim Boston quite yet, as it's where Coach Moten spent his early days before coming to Raleigh. Palmer can't make either one of those free throws, so it remains a 10-point lead for North Carolina Central. Under 14 minutes remaining in regulation. And Palmer is going to be called for the foul on the left wing. That's his second. Team foul number 3 in the second half for North Carolina Central. Rayshawn Neal, pass to the left side for Etienne. He rolls it to the corner for Applewhite. Applewhite back out for Etienne with 7 to shoot. He spots for 3, and that is well short. Rebounded by Devin Palmer. Outlet for Mike Melvin. Melvin at the top. Slow it down as the Eagles collapse into the half court. Melvin reverses course, going to the left side. Top of the floor, it's Blunt. He lobs it in for Justin Watley. The left-hand hook is no good. It's rebounded by Ozante Fields. Here comes Rayshawn Neal up the floor. Behind the back dribble, drops it to Etienne. Jumper inside the perimeter is no good. The tip is missed, rebounded by Watley. He has the ball knocked away out of bounds. And the Eagles will keep possession. Tariq Simmons will go in now for South Carolina State. Going out is Ian Kennard. And Jordan Perkins back in. Ty Graves back in. Out of the game is Mike Melvin. Melvin checks out, and Palmer checks out as well. South Carolina State, they're going to go into a full court press. Inbound goes for C.J. Kaiser, and Kaiser drops it off for Perkins. Perkins to the left side for Graves. Graves to Watley. Right side to C.J. Kaiser. Kaiser right side. Perkins has an open look at the bucket. Has a first shot blocked. Goes out to the corner. Ty Graves. His 3 is good. Career assist number 408 for Jordan Perkins. Timeout taken by South Carolina State. 50-37. 12:29 to go in regulation. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops.
The Sheraton Imperial Hotel, located in Durham, is just minutes away from the NCCU campus. This full-service hotel with 331 guest rooms and 34,000 square feet of banquet and meeting space can meet all your lodging and event needs. Whether it is a family or class reunion, church organization, or corporate function, our newly renovated ball
for North Carolina Central ahead.
Keeps on going.
Jonathan Duran here inside McDougal McClendon Arena in Durham, North Carolina. A top 4 matchup within the league being played right now. South Carolina State 4-3, North Carolina Central 4-2. The Eagles trying to stay on the hunt for another regular season title. Their last one coming in the 2016-2017 season. 50-37, South Carolina State after calling the timeout, ready to inbound. Jonathan Duran here. High above the floor is Etienne, ready to inbound. We're tossing to the backcourt now for Zach Sellers. And he'll collect it and come back across the timeline. Sellers, top of the floor. Moves off the screen to his left. Able to keep a hold on it after the double team comes in. A long 3 missed by Simmons. And a long rebound brought down by Ty Graves. Perkins at the top of the floor. Crosses over. Will look for an outlet. He finds C.J. Kaiser. Kaiser with 18 to shoot. Goes back to the left side for Perkins. Inside Kaiser. His layup is good. And Perkins now tied for second all-time in career assists at North Carolina Central of 409. C.J. Kaiser now with 17 points in this game. And an offensive foul called against South Carolina State. It's going to go against number 14, Jamari Etienne. That is his third team foul, number 3 for South Carolina State. in the second half. That sends us to our scheduled media timeout. 11:45 to go in regulation. 52-37, North Carolina Central leads. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Back underway here inside McDougald-McLennan Arena. 52-37, North Carolina Central leads with 11 and a half minutes to go. Ty Graves for three. That one misses the iron. Up the floor, South Carolina State, Simmons. Stops outside the perimeter. He pivots, goes down low for David Bottenberg. Newly into the game, the 6'8 senior forward from Rockville, Maryland. Sellers to the right for Simmons. Pass to the corner. Three from Kennard. Missed off the front side of the iron. Tracked down by Ozante Fields. Fields will try to drive it. Takes the foul on the way to the window, and he'll go to the line for two. Foul will be charged to Evan Claiborne. His second, team foul number 4. So Ozante Fields to the line, a 72% free throw shooter. South Carolina State as a team, one of the better free throw shooters in the league. Ozante Fields, 6'7 senior from Denmark, South Carolina. Knocks down the first of two. Denmark, the location of Voorhees College in South Carolina. Second free throw on the way from Fields. And that one bounces to the right, rebounded by Jabri Blunt. And Blunt will take it across midcourt here. 52-38. North Carolina Central ahead here. He lost the handle on it. Jordan Perkins able to get back to it. He gives it for Claiborne. He'll lob it back to Perkins. Perkins asking for something different here. Perkins looks to drive. It goes to the corner. C.J. Kaiser, this three is no good. And the rebound brought down by South Carolina State. Simmons to Bottenberg at the point. Picks up his dribble, hands it off for Sellers. Sellers trying to drive, but no alley there for him. 12 to shoot. Sellers turning, still trying to work his way in. The floater on the move is no good. The tip missed as well, rebounded by Blunt. He throws a long outlet pass, intercepted by Simmons. So Simmons has his pocket picked. Evan Claiborne takes it back. Bounce to the right side for Blunt. Blunt to the corner. This one tips out of play again. And one of the fans sitting at the VIP table able to deflect that one, coming in at a high rate of speed. She's saying, I'm all right, I'm all right. One of the benefits of sitting so close to the action, you almost get to be a part of it. 52-38. North Carolina Central. Ty Graves bounces to the corner for Jordan Perkins. Perkins down low for Claiborne, and Claiborne travels. Under 10 minutes to go in regulation. As Kennard will inbound for Rashawn Edwards, the 6-foot freshman guard from Hagerstown, Maryland, getting his first minutes today. Pass goes to the left side for Kennard. Kennard on the left side of the floor. To the middle now for Edwards. 8 to shoot. Edwards behind the perimeter, pass to the right side. Riley, jumper inside the arc is missed. Rebounded by Jordan Perkins. Perkins up the floor, hands it off for Jabri Blunt. The layup is no good, but he'll be called for a travel instead. Turnover will give South Carolina State the ball. Just a shade over 9 minutes remaining in regulation. Neither team has scored in the last 2.5 minutes. Left elbow jumper is good from Rashawn Edwards. And this lead down to 12. Here's Jordan Perkins, top of the perimeter, moves off the screen to his left. Top of the floor, Jabri Blunt. His three to respond. Good. (55-40). 8.5 to go. Here's Edwards on the left wing to the corner. Driving in was Kennard, but he's fouled on the floor on the way through. Foul charged to Jabri Blunt, his third, team foul number 5 for the Eagles in the second half. 8.5 minutes remaining in regulation. As Ian Kennard will bounce it in from in front of his own team's bench. Sends it to the left wing for Applewhite. He tries to drive to the baseline. Applewhite back out. The three from Edwards is short. Rebound sky high by Ty Graves. And Graves in the backcourt able to fight away from 2 Bulldogs and take it across midcourt. Graves hands it off for Perkins. Perkins at the top of the floor. Goes to the left side, Ty Graves, the three is good. The 6th assist of the game. Perkins now with 412. Stands alone. Second all-time in career assists at North Carolina Central. Ty Graves drains down his second three-pointer of the game, 58-40. On the right side, here is Edwards. Bounce in the middle of the floor for Applewhite. Applewhite, jumper is good from the free throw line. Damani Applewhite gets his second field goal of the game. He now has 4. It's Jordan Perkins in the backcourt. We'll bring it across. Next dead ball will send us to a media timeout. 7 minutes and some spare change left in this game. It's Jabri Blunt to the left side for Perkins. Perkins on the right side. Drives, drops it off for Ty Graves. Another three. It's no good. And it goes out of bounds. Saved by Tashombe Riley before going out of bounds. And he gives it to Tariq Simmons. Simmons, jumper on the pull-up in transition. Wouldn't go in. Rebounded by Jabri Blunt. Outlet goes to C.J. Kaiser. Kaiser weaving through. The layup on the right side is good. +1. C.J. Kaiser will go to the free throw line, looking to complete the three-point play when we get back from break. 60-42, North Carolina Central leads. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Another look at C.J. Kaiser and his layup that sends him to the line, trying to complete a three-point play here. 60-42, North Carolina Central leads. Jonathan Duran here inside McDougald-McLennan Arena. Durham, North Carolina, the city, as C.J. Kaiser knocks down the free throw, and he now has 20 points in this game. 61-42, North Carolina Central leads. C.J. Kaiser with a new career high as he steps into the passing lane, tips it away, but South Carolina State gets it back. Kennard in, and he's called for a charge. That is his second of the game. Team foul number 4 for South Carolina State. Excuse me, team foul number 5 for South Carolina State. Now the look as Kennard drives in, and Evan Claiborne stands his ground and draws the charge Not just the offensive foul, but a turnover as well, as Ian Kennard will check out of the game. Inbound goes for Jordan Perkins. He has 6 assists in this game, averaging 4.6 assists per game so far this season. And in league play, doing much better is C.J. Kaiser. The 3 on the way. There's another assist for Perkins and another 3-pointer for C.J. Kaiser. 64-42 North Carolina Central. And have so far outscored South Carolina State 30-15 in the second half. On the right side, here is Simmons. Simmons to the right for Riley. Riley pivoting, goes down low to the left corner for Armani Hill. Hill faces up, tries the up and under move, and knocks it in. Nice move there by Armani Hill. 64-44. 5.5 minutes left in regulation. Jordan Perkins tosses it to the right side of the floor for Blunt. It goes back to Perkins. Perkins around a couple of screens, goes out to Ty Graves from NBA range. It's no good. Rebounded by Claiborne. No, excuse me, it goes to Kaiser. Kaiser is going to drive it in, drops it off for Claiborne. Up the elevator shaft for 2. (66-44) North Carolina Central. On the left side, Sellers to the middle of the floor for Riley. And out to the right for Simmons. Simmons is going to take the contact here. It's going to go against Ty Graves, I believe. It will. That is Graves' first. Team foul number 6. The next foul by North Carolina Central will send South Carolina State into the bonus. And another look down low at Evan Claiborne, jamming that one right into your living room. South Carolina State getting ready to inbound. Tariq Simmons will bounce it in for Applewhite. He lost it. It's 3-on-1 opposite way. Perkins up the floor. Here's the layup on the right side. They're going to count this one on the goaltend. Count the basket plus the foul. Foul will be charged to number 10, Rayshawn Edwards, his first. Jordan Perkins gets the 2 points. And now at the line for the 3-point play. The Greensboro native. It's the free throw on the way. It's no good. 68-44. North Carolina Central leads by 24, their largest lead of the game. And this comes after neither team led by more than 4 in the first half. Applewhite down low, fouled as he was going up. Team foul number 7, so the Bulldogs into the bonus for the rest of the game. Foul charge to Evan Claiborne, that is his third. Four and a half minutes left to go here in regulation. And Damani Applewhite at the free throw line. First free throw from Applewhite hits the cotton. Second free throw coming up. And that's good as well. Applewhite makes both. 68-46. C.J. Kaiser will inbound. Lobs it up for Jordan Perkins in the backcourt. Perkins up for Kaiser. Blunt gives it right back to Perkins. Perkins in the middle of the floor. Sends it to the right for Blunt. Back out to Kaiser. Kaiser driving baseline, and it goes for Claiborne. Claiborne back out. Kaiser pump fakes, steps into the jumper inside the perimeter, and he's fouled in the act of shooting. It's going to go against number 11, Armani Hill. That is his third. And now both teams into the bonus for the remainder of the contest. 4:02 remaining. C.J. Kaiser will shoot 2. First one is short. Didn't quite get the elevation he wanted. They'll try once more. Head coach Lavelle Moten in his 11th season with North Carolina Central. Both free throws are missed by Kaiser. Should the Eagles win with Coach Moten, it'll be their 100th league win in the D1 era. Pass goes to the left side. 3 on the way. It's long. Rebounded by South Carolina State. 10 seconds to shoot. Shot clock did not reset. It's Edwards. Free throw line jumper with 2 seconds left. He banks it in. 68-48 with 3.5 minutes left to go in regulation. Next dead ball will send us to our final media timeout. Jordan Perkins at midcourt tosses it to the right side for Ty Graves. Graves back to Perkins. Perkins to the left wing for Kaiser. Kaiser cross court, Ty Graves. 4 seconds to shoot. Graves, jumper on the fade, is no good from the baseline. Edwards picks up his dribble, gives it to Applewhite. Applewhite pivots and drops it back out for Rashawn Edwards. Edwards off the screen to his left, pivots, drops it inside for Applewhite. He lost a handle on it. Shot, volleyball spiked back down by Evan Claiborne. The follow-up jumper is good from the right side from Tariq Simmons. He now has 12. And it's 68-50 North Carolina Central. And Evan Claiborne, give him credit for the kill there. It's no net. Well, there is a net. It's not one that divides the floor, rather. CJ Kaiser on the left side. 4 to shoot. Kaiser down low for Claiborne. Claiborne walks into the contact and will go to the line for 2 after the layup attempt. Foul will be charged to number 15 for South Carolina State, Trushawn Moore. That is his first, team foul number 8. 68-50, North Carolina Central leads. This is MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. We've got 2 minutes remaining. MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops. Jonathan Duran here inside McDougald McLennan Arena, Durham, North Carolina. As Evan Claiborne is at the free throw line. Makes the first. Looking down at the North Carolina Central team bench. As we mentioned earlier, wearing the T-shirts to honor the legacy of Kobe Bryant, who passed away tragically in a helicopter crash along with his daughter Gianna. These 2 among 9 passengers that passed away as Trushawn Moore knocks down the three-pointer. And both teams, as have been doing, rather have been done in the NBA, honored Kobe. The Eagles took a 24-second shot clock violation. South Carolina State took an 8-second backcourt violation to honor both numbers worn by Bryant in his career. And North Carolina Central on the bench, the T-shirts on the front, black shirts with the purple 8 in front and a 24 on the back, with both the numbers that he wore during his career. Score is 69-53, North Carolina Central ahead with 68 seconds left. As Evan Claiborne will check out for North Carolina Central. Justin Watley back in. Inbound goes to the top of the floor for number 11. That's Armani Moore. Here's a 3 from the left. It's no good. Rebounded by Ty Graves. And he sends the pass out for Jordan Perkins. Under a minute to go here. As North Carolina Central is ready to win their 11th consecutive home game inside McDougald-McLennan Arena and their 100th game in MEAC play since rejoining the league. In the Division I era, Jabri Blunt is able to make the fadeaway jumper. Now has 10 points in this game and a timeout taken by North Carolina Central. Let's go to the MEAC scoreboard as we're wrapping up here from Durham. Delaware State defeats Coppin State 77-68 earlier today. Midway through the second half, Morgan State leads Howard 60-48. North Carolina A&T ahead of Norfolk State 48-38. 11 minutes left to go in regulation. And Bethune-Cookman now trailing FAMU 37-34 at the half. Kobe Aite checks in for North Carolina Central for these last 46 seconds. On the left side of the floor is Rashawn Edwards. He rolls it down for Lafayette Stone. Tries a right-handed hook, and he's fouled by Justin Watley. His second, team foul number 8 for North Carolina Central. 34.3 to go here in regulation. Stone to shoot 2 free throws. The first one is good. Xavier McCoy will check in for just the second time this year for North Carolina Central. He goes in for Ty Graves. (71-54). Second free throw miss, rebounded by McCoy, and that's his first collegiate stat as he sends the pass out for number 4, Joshua Dawkins. 22 seconds left in regulation. This is all but academic for North Carolina Central as Aite sends it to the left side of the floor for Fennell. 10 to shoot. Fennell to drive, drops it off for Aite, and Kobe Aite finger rolls it in. 10 seconds left in this game, 73-54. North Carolina Central up. The pass will go out of bounds. Tipped away by the Eagles, 4.9 seconds to go. Ready to inbound. They go on the alley-oop. The tip is good. A nice athletic finish by Trushawn Moore. But with 2 seconds left to go, this game is done. North Carolina Central picks up a 73-56 win over South Carolina State. The Eagles now 9-12, 5-2 in league play, 7-0 at home, and have won their last 11 consecutively inside McDougald-McLennan Arena. South Carolina State now 9-11, 4-4 in league play. For those of you joining us on FloHoops, where we say so long, Jonathan Duran saying goodbye from McDougald-McLennan Arena. Your final score, North Carolina Central 73, South Carolina State 56. Thank you for watching the MEAC Digital Network on FloHoops. All games airing on FloHoops are streaming live and archived on FloHoops.com. For those of you joining us locally, stay tuned once we sign off for our post-game report presented by Kimberly Williams, Right Time Realty. It's been MEAC Basketball on the MEAC Digital Network and FloHoops.